Well, we didn't see an awful lot to like in that Detroit game, especially the final score, but there were a few things, and maybe one big thing we could put the umbrella on, and that was, we talked about it last week, a more prolific, more productive passing game.
And we saw some specific players that we talked about get involved, most notably Sidney Rice. Zach Miller catches his first touchdown pass as a Seahawk, which couldn't believe it. Didn't even realize that was it. But those were two guys that you and I had targeted specifically, and they were targeted specifically in this game, which was good to see. I mean, if we were going to look for a silver lining in this game, it was that you walked away with it with no complaints really about the passing game. It doesn't mean they completed every single pass. There was an interception, but overall, Russell Wilson looked great. Zach Miller made a tremendous touchdown grab. Sidney Rice had a touchdown grab. I mean, it was just, you saw these guys more active. You saw a more, I won't say explosive, that's kind of overstating it, but more explosive than it had been passing
Absolutely.
game. It was an actual threat in the game.
Think about the one that Sidney Rice said he kind of took the wrong angle on and almost
the seam
caught.
route.
Would have been in, what, another 50 yards or something
Right.
like that? No question about it, I thought. And the ironic thing about it was, before the game started, you got the word that Braylon Edwards was out too,
Right.
along with Doug Baldwin. I mean, it seemed like they were at a point where, boy, they're going to be a little hamstrung in that passing game, and they weren't. Now, obviously, the frustration at the end was not winning the game, but the most important thing, I thought, the most exciting thing was that 87-yard drive in the fourth quarter, Sidney Rice being a huge part of it, going down the field, and Wilson getting the ball done. I mean, with the exception of, it's a big exception, losing the game. I mean, it was it was actually offensively, you felt, I think, better about the offense than you had all year.
Yeah, I just felt because that had taken up so much of the energy of the fan base and the people that were listening to us, our listeners, talking about, the passing game. You got it. They threw it 35 times on that drive you're talking about. He was 6 of 8 passing on that drive. It was what you wanted it to be. It doesn't have to be shots down the field. It can be little slant routes. It can be little, dink and dunk type passes that are working against the Seahawks defense, by the way.
They are.
It's just good to see those timing plays happening, and good to see Sidney Rice involved to the level that he was, targeted to the level he was, and seeing Zach Miller actually being involved. And hopefully hopefully the defense can get back to what they were doing while the passing game remains at the level it was in this game, which was very good.
Okay, first shootout Sunday against Minnesota.
Let's beat up on them.
Throw the ball.